Today's adventure brings us to replacing the side covers. So the original side covers were 3D printed as one piece that goes under here and then down the side. They work well. I've not had any real issues with these covers, but I want to move to the modular design that I'll show here in a little bit. But basically this piece here is a separate piece from this piece, and there is a metal L bracket here, and this will magnetically connect. And what the advantage of that is I can then change the side out without having to do any screwing, unscrewing, or anything like that. I can just pop this off, put another one on. I can also take them off on transport so they don't get damaged. So that's what we're working on today. All right, as you can see here, we got it separated. So that's what's kind of in between the tracks and the cradle base, if you haven't seen that before. It's got a pin there that gets pulled, and then that comes loose, and then this track separates. And then over here, we've pulled that top off. It's got 4 screws that hold that on, and then we also have on mine. I had some challenges with attaching this, so it's very makeshift right now. We got these washers in here with these bolts, but you'll see the replacement is quite nice. So I don't remember what I originally done on this, but somehow I ended up to the point to where I think I had drilled these too large originally, and so I ended up having to put these in there to hold that on. I mean, it's done a great job, but now we're going to work on replacing this piece here. All right, so I went ahead and separated Johnny's track. I was trying to pull it away, and then the connector just came loose, so I figured, okay, we might as well just take it all the way off at this point. A few things I'm going to have to address while I have his track off. One is I found a bunch of really nasty shavings right there. So I'm thinking that it's probably from this. As you can see here, we got some wear going on here, that's probably pretty normal. But I think what's going on here is there's probably still, I've noticed that some of these pins, I thought I had them all knocked in, but they seem to be, some of them seem to be sticking out ever so slightly. I think that's where that's coming from. Not 100% sure. It's obviously not desired, so we'll see if we can sort down where the source of that is. I'm assuming it's these pins, so I'm going to push those in more because there's nothing else that it could possibly be coming from that I can find. So I'm going to tighten this up a little bit. The track is a little loose compared to the other one, so I'll tighten that up a little bit. And this is why you don't want to use these black oxide freaking bolts. That's what happens to them after a while. As soon as they hit moisture, they start to rust up. So eventually I'll replace that. The other side's doing it. And not so bad. Just the outside. Probably got some water on it or something. So it'll be okay. I'm not going to mess with it right now, but eventually at some point I'm going to replace that. So I would suggest not using these at all. This type of material, metal. So I think at this point we will finish taking this guy off. All right, cover is off now. Found a couple of loose screws here. These were backing out, so took care of that little problem. And then found that guy. That looks nasty. I'm probably not going to address this at this time. I can get in here and replace that at any point. And it's not moving. Nothing's moving there. I don't want to risk digging into this thing too much. Got some stuff coming up next week, so I'm going to leave that for now. But the batteries are not moving anywhere. But that's definitely something I have to address. I think I should have done more infill on that because I was looking down in there and it almost looked like it was pretty hollow. So I probably didn't make that as much infill as it should have had. So live and learn, I suppose. Okay, so this is what it looks like with the newer design on there. It's a 2-piece system where you got one side and the other, basically due to the fact that when they're trying to bend this, it's send cut send. This is how you're able to achieve this without having to do any additional work once you get the part. And then of course it's got these studs that come out of here as well. So what we're going to do now is we'll place this piece on here, which will join the two together. Something like that. Very nice the way this turns out. And we'll also put on there the 3D printed part, which is like that. Now, I didn't spend time painting everything inside here. I didn't want to waste the paint on it. I obviously did the edges. The things are going to be seen because once the cover's on there, you're going to see the inside of this. So that's why it looks a little faded. But that's how it goes on there. So now we're going to put the 8/32 nuts on all these parts. All right, one part that I did forget to put on here is this L bracket. So this is the L bracket. It's the part that is going to allow the cover to sit on this side. So now that I've put that on there, this piece can go back on. And it fits something like that. So very nice design that Ramon came up with, and Terry, looking very, very nice and nice and tight. So let's go ahead and put all the nuts on. All right, just like that, that is all put together now. Now the reason for this space here is some people can put a motor controller here, some other electronics that can be easily accessible. Mine are down in here right now for the motor controller. I may move it up here at some point, I may not. It's always nice to have some extra real estate just in case you put in some features in the future. And that there is the finished product, boys and girls. So you get the cover back on the back. And I had to end up using some, I think it's 10/32 screws here. I think it's set in the CAD, it says 8/32, but the hole ended up being too big after I printed it. Not on this piece, but on the piece underneath. So it was very sloppy. So I went ahead and just went a size larger. Seems to work fine. On that part, I ended up learning that those 8/32 screws are just for alignments only. The cover that's supposed to go on the top here has a magnet attachment that will go there, and what it'll allow is that top cover to attach with magnets as opposed to screws. I elected to not reprint that top part because that's a pretty intricate part and mine has nothing wrong with it. So that's why I went up, sized up to 10/32 and then attached it on there. And then, yeah, don't mind the charger there in the background. That thing's loud. Johnny's getting a top off. But you just take it, do that. So there's the magnets in the back. I put 3 so far. We'll see how that goes. Might put 4. I think 4 is probably optimal. 2 is definitely minimum. So I definitely would not do any less than 2. It just pops on there like so. Yeah. So there you go. Johnny is now ready to go out and about with his new Nike Swoosh and colorful side plate.